There we go. I got.
Oh,
I played it too early.
Oh
Don't play too early.
Silly
Oh,
me.
no.
I'm getting ahead of myself. All right.
He blew his load already.
I mean, I do have my channel set to mature, but I keep.
Oh yeah.
Calm down. Just a little bit. I need you. Look, I need you like here, and you're like over here.
At least I'm getting it out before the main show.
Yeah, just yeah. I'm not gonna say anything more.
The steam release after dark.
3, 2, 1. Hello, welcome to the Steam Release Podcast. I am your host, Dewey Bear, and join me today are my delightful co-hosts. First, TheRadioTomFM.
Hello, how's everybody doing? Thank you for having me back. I think I'm now officially the most reoccurring guest host on this show, so thank you for that honor. Appreciate that.
And reveling in tropic bliss, we have Roadypie.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's not self-isolation, it is a staycation.
Staycation. What would be perfect is just like a green screen backdrop and it's like palm trees in the sand.
Just sunning myself.
I was gonna green screen something, it'd be a crowd of people.
And to everyone at YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe and click that bell.
Yes, indeed. Oh, hello, welcome everyone. We're glad to see you. Another week, another. Hopefully, we've had a bit more extra time lately to play some more games. I know I have. So, so let's get started. What have you been up to, Rhodey, this last week?
I finished the Portal of Evil Stolen Runes collection, and this was just, I mean, it was a bit of, I think we said last week, it was a bit of a slog to just get through anyway, but I expected some kind of payoff at the end, at least, you know, something remotely satisfactory. That just didn't happen. That just didn't happen at all. Like, like, I thought there'd be some resolution in the main story, and then the bonus chapter there'd be like, you know, just clearing a few things up. But no, it's you just collect, basically you're just supposed to collect runes to stop evil coming out of these doors, because someone had stolen them. So by the end of the main chapter you do that and you find out it was kind of obvious who was the evil person. He was the traitor. They'd escaped, and so in the bonus chapter you are tracking them down and trying to capture them, and also try and find your grandpa. You find your grandpa. Spoilers. but why would you? I would not recommend playing this. So you find your grandpa, and then you're still chasing after the traitor, and he just goes into this this fort. And you've just got to basically got to unlock it, go up the stairs. There's another door. The very last puzzle sees you moving little animal figures around, so you get the box opens and you get a key, and you can get the key to the last door that goes upstairs, and you go upstairs and he escapes in a hot air balloon. and then your grandpa says, "Don't worry, we'll get him next time." And it's just like, I don't care. I don't care.
Like, you know what? He can. You know what? You know, sometimes crime pays. I'll just let crime pay this time.
The thing is, in his hot air balloon, he had his Doberman with him, and the Doberman was going arr, 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 like flying off. This is like, it's not fair. It's
not
fine. And then I played one of my friends who I play Final Fantasy 11 with. They got me 7 Days to Die, because they'll play like a few multiplayer games with a few LS or guild members. So he gifted me 7 Days to Die, And yeah, this game has been worked on for years, and it's still quite buggy.
Oh yeah.
So just me trying to get into the lobby, like my friends had to put their server public, and I still couldn't see it even though I'm on their friends list. And found out that I was having memory problems or something because it runs at super high memory, even though when you look at it, it doesn't really look that good. So I had to like turn all the settings down, and I have a pretty like good computer. You know, I can run Final Fantasy 14, no problems whatsoever.
You were having what problems? I forgot.
Memory problems. Oh, silly. Anyway, yeah, it's like a survival horror, zombies. It does remind me a bit of like those games like Terraria, but where you're constantly like picking up stuff from the ground and like cutting trees down and things like that. But I don't know, I prefer Terraria.
Terraria is a lot more polished.
Yeah, it's not only that it's more polished, it's just that it has this sort of like fantasy feel to it, and it's, you know, it's bright colors, and you know, just like, you know, you can ride on a unicorn. things like that. I want something ridiculous. I think those sorts of more realistic survival horrors, it's kind of like a bit depressing, and it's like
yeah, I feel you there. This yeah, that's because I've heard this game, a lot of people I know play it, and it's really surprising. I've never actually seen what it looks like. I'm just like, really? I mean, I guess this game must have really great gameplay considering it has an 88% positive review score. So
the gameplay itself, this is a game I've played the daylights out of, in all honesty.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's fun. It's one of those I would much rather play this game with other people as you're trying to go around and survive, and then of course you get like a massive horde that comes after like so many days. So hopefully everything you have is well fortified. You're trying to make your way into like different cities, trying to like pick up medicines. Like it's right now, the state of the world, it's not a fun game to play currently, but way back when quarantine and disease wasn't really a forefront, it was actually kind of a fun game to play, even though it's not the prettiest thing in the world.
Yeah. Well, for folks who've seen past episodes of the show, when I talked about, you know, playing Terraria, I don't like Terraria, so I think this is sort of a game that I'd probably pass on personally. But yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, because I wasn't too into Terraria when I first picked it up, but when I played it with friends, it was great.
Yeah, exactly. I've enjoyed many hours playing with friends.
Yeah, so I think, again, playing 7 Days to Die with friends, it's only fun because I'm playing it with friends, sort of thing. Yeah. Well, what about you, Dewey? What have you been playing this week?
So, besides what I said yesterday, I have been playing another game, which is Horizon Chase Turbo, which is just fantastic. It's this sort of, it's just an arcade racer. It starts out, so there's a campaign that I start out with, the rookie campaign. Stupid easy, like brain dead easy. I'm not good at racers, but that one kind of, I do give them a lot of credit for having this like mini campaign that you can optionally do before the main campaign, and it's brain dead easy, but it does gradually ramp up the difficulty, and then by the time you're finished with that, the first level of the main campaign is slightly more difficult than the last level of the easy campaign. Like I got gold medal on the easy campaign all the way through. And now, as I'm going through the main campaign, it's really fun. So and I actually feel like I'm getting good at this game. So there's very few racing games, or really games in general, that have that good of a difficulty curve. where it just kind of gradually slips you into like doing the sort of learning the mechanics and learning the intricacies and tricks without any like, they don't tell you what you're supposed to do. Like it's just that the gameplay itself, you just gradually like, you accidentally drive over this drop that's on the thing, and it's like, oh, it gives me this. Oh, I click this button. Oh, wow, what's this? And so it's just like, it just very gradually introduces you to new concepts, and just teaches through gameplay. And that was, I've not quite felt that way about a game since Portal, which is far less intricate than Portal, to be sure. Like Portal has to teach you a ton of different things. This is very much, you're on the road, you're in a race, but it's fun. It's really fun. It's definitely not a hardcore racing game. You don't have to like worry about switching gears or drifting or anything like that. It's just, you have brake, you have nitro, and you have acceleration. That's it.
Is there a gear option or no?
I don't think there is a gear option.
Gotcha.
And I don't think you can even change camera view. I think it's always like over the top of the car view.
It looks very much like Outrun.
Yeah, it's you can definitely tell their origins or their inspiration are the old arcade racers, and that's why I was thinking like the camera angles, and I remember you always had to select manual or auto, and they had the gear shift right on the cabinet back in the day. But this very much is a newer throwback.
Yeah, it absolutely is a throwback, and like it really makes me feel like I'm playing a Sega Genesis racing game, just it's fully 3D. And that's what it feels like. It's very pleasant. Just it's not punishingly hard like that motorcycle racer game on Sega. Awful. But also I also give it kudos for its low poly art style. We see so many low poly art style that oftentimes when I see low poly art style, I skip it because almost 90% of the time those assets are not unique assets. They are like purchased assets, or they're not like custom assets. That kind of annoys me because custom assets are great for a prototype and to build a proof of concept. But when you're actually selling a game, I don't want to see just like library assets. I want to see custom assets. In this game, they have a low poly art style that isn't like, I can't think of another game that quite looks like this. The polygons are done differently. You travel all around the world, and they have all these really interesting references that, yes, they kind of do a stereotypical cartoony look like, say, Japan, etc. But there's also little hints that it's like, oh, they're aware of this aspect of Japanese society, or like this aspect of Madagascar society. It's really interesting how it's like they give that sort of generic look where someone who doesn't know anything about Madagascar is like, oh yeah, this looks like Madagascar, whatever. But at the same time, like people who know a bit more about the location, it's just like, oh, that's a cool reference. So
yeah,
so really researched everything.
Yeah, and it looks like they're reusing their own assets from their previous games that were out on iOS before, back in 2015, but at the same time, it's still their own assets.
Yeah, it's their own assets. It's their own company's assets.
Yeah.
And it's fully upscaled. Like this looks beautiful on my big screen. So I often like swap screen over to my big screen over there and just sit over there with my chair, and it's like, oh, this is like console gaming. This is nice. Looks beautiful. But yeah, enough ranting and raving about Horizon Chase Turbo. It is a great game, and yeah, this is like, get it. It's a great game. Check it out.
Yeah.
Many hours of fun to have in this game.
You been playing anything else?
I mean, I've been playing a bit more Celestial, a bit more, but all the other games I'm playing are like 100 hours long. So I'll probably make more of a thorough report when I have reached like another chapter ending or something. So, those are long games. But yeah, that's me. Let me see. And with that, that's our gameplay for this last week.
Did
I
we ask
mean, for
Tom?
you two, no.
Yeah, we asked Tom.
Oh, we didn't ask Tom. For some reason, I was
No.
thinking that I'd already asked you. Oh, that's right. No, I
Nope,
introduced you first.
I didn't play anything this week.
That's
No,
right.
nothing,
I
nothing
introduced
at
you
all.
first. No. Tom. What did you play? Please tell us.
I may or may not have played The Pedestrian, which we talked about last week on the show. And there may or may not be a full review video and gameplay footage coming out tomorrow on my YouTube channel.
Awesome.
You know that's but I mean I can't talk about that now apparently.
Oh no, I feel hurt. I feel terrible.
No, you're fine. Don't worry about it. The one thing in the review that I will spoil is the game length of time, which was I've been divided on this. Even in my review, I was going back and forth. For a game that was $20, kindly gifted to me by Miss Roady. It was $20, and I beat the game full achievements in 2 hours.
Ooh,
no.
You see, if you had a lot of fun, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, but that's still still $20.
And it's one of those. I'll get into more everything on the Pedestrian and the review, but and of course, as you're now seeing on the screen, it's a 2.5D side scroller and a puzzle game. It is more puzzle than it is platformer. If you're someone who wants heavy duty platformer mechanics, in challenging platformer, no, this is going to be more for your puzzle gamer. And the other thing that this game does not do, it does not hold your hand. There is no real no hand-holding tutorial system. It is, they kind of throw you into it, but it's a forgiving learning system as you go on, but it's short. That is that's we'll get into it more in the review coming out hopefully tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I'm really excited. But yeah, so and your YouTube channel does that have the same name as your Twitch channel?
Hopefully it is the Radio Tom. I'm gonna have to double check. I know it doesn't have a it doesn't have a custom URL at the end because we don't have enough subscribers yet. But it should be the Radio Tom. Yeah, it's the Radio Tom no FM. At the end of it. Right. Yep. Because I wanted to go back to the Radio Tom here on Twitch, but it was not available yet. So we just added the FM at the end. So, but the YouTube channel, someday I'm going to work on this consistent branding all the way across.
So stay tuned on YouTube for the Pedestrian.
Yep. Otherwise, I played that. I did more Resident Evil playthrough this week, and then played a little game called Armello. It's a digital board game about like warring factions. Everyone's playing like a different race and different class, so it's like last night I was playing like this really awesome turtle that's part of the dragon clan, who the king is corrupted, and you were either trying to bring him down swiftly, or you're trying to cure him or become the next ruler of Armello. It's a wonderful, beautiful digital board game that's been out since 2012 or 2015. Like it's been out for a few years, but it's a fantastic game. So pretty, and not too difficult to get into.
It's I've wanted to play this game forever, and it's now finally in my library. It's just that I have other games I'm playing right now, so it's like so I gotta check this game out soon because this was recommended to me years ago.
Is it multiplayer or is it any single player?
It's online multiplayer.
You know, maybe you and Dewey can.
Yeah, we'll have to play a campaign.
Date night. There is no campaign story to it. There is the art book story, but yeah, it's a board game.
Okay. It's just a board game. There's maybe lore in the world, but there's not really a story campaign that you're going through.
Correct.
Okay. Alrighty. Ooh, and with that, before we get to our list of games this week, we just have to catch up on the games that we missed over the course of the hiatus. And starting, we have our catch-up dates are January 31st through February 6th. And first is Vampire's Fall Origins.
For countless years, the villagers of Vampire have enjoyed a life of peace and happiness, but now rumors are spreading about a wielder of dark magic, a witch master. Fearing the rumors to be true, the village musters a militia to prepare for the worst.
Village of Vampire? Oh dear, this is terrible. That's terrible name.
Yeah, exactly. Had they given it the village any other name that was not a pun, I would be like, oh, okay. Because looking past that, it's a neat aesthetic. It looks kind of like some of the top tier games on like Congregate. It's sort of flash animated, like those Congregate games that are the top. But
really very Diablo 2.
Yeah,
very Diablo 2 is what I'm getting just looking at everything on this.
Yeah. I like it. There are certain things that, you know, certain animation things that are a bit crunchy, but there's still quite some nice polish to it as well. But yeah,
it has that pleasant Grimm aesthetic of a past retro dark fan. Yeah, and let's see yours.
Yeah, it's 35% off right now. And it's £7.49.
That
is sorry.
Oh, $9.74 US.
It's open world, fully customizable characters, tactical combat, immersive stories, dialogue choices, skills and abilities to shape your character, choose your bloodline, over 250 graphically unique weapons and armor. So yeah, that's pretty good.
But it looks like there is limitations on the Steam version compared to where they're at on other platforms.
Oh. How's that?
They're saying there's no in-game chat, no PvP, adjusted balancing issues, but they do have full controller support and apparently better visuals on the Steam version. But yeah, no PvP and no in-game chats. That seems like a very weird miss.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems odd. I wonder if they're working on. Maybe they have like the launch version here and they're working on getting it caught up to the other versions, but that doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
But this is by Early Morning Studio, which is based out of Sweden and is composed of 3 developers.
I can see someone here saying the game itself is decent, but their Discord and community is toxic as hell. Probably worth the buy for half price if you avoid interacting with their community at all costs. So that's why there's no in-game chats.
maybe it's just they're really trying for that Diablo 2 feel.
Yeah.
All right. Our next title is JORRY.
Ooh, just reading this, I'm thinking Roadie. JORRY is a horror point-and-click game inspired by the classics of the 90s, including an action and survival gameplay.
The pixel art looks fantastic. It's a really grim pixel art style. That's really fascinating.
Thing is with, I think, like horror point and click, they have like certain times where you got to kind of like trying to escape, so you might be chased at some point, and there's some action sequences which I'm not really into. So yeah.
I'm also curious about that temperature gauge in the corner that they have.
I think it's vitality and endurance, maybe.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
But it's like, it only comes up sometimes, like in the left, in the left at the bottom.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, just like, oh no, this room is getting too warm or too cold. No.
And then you have like teeth, like a teeth counter.
Maybe it's the temperature when it drops. It means there are ghouls or whatever. Maybe
cold spots, as they say on the Ghost Hunters.
Someone's father came home and adjusted the thermostat. No.
So yeah, this is by Korozif Productions, and they are based in France.
Yeah, I was just looking at this. Point and click inspired by games from the 90s, 2D graphics, a lot of riddles and puzzles, fighting system, fully playable with mouse. So yeah, those when they try to mash up like point and click and action, it just doesn't work so well. It really doesn't. Skill improvement system, original atmospheric music, multiple endings. Yeah.
Seeing about an average of 3 to 4 hours of gameplay.
And it costs if you don't want the Justin edition, you know, the one with the soundtrack, it's just $11.99.
It's $9.99 here.
Alrighty. Our next title is Shadowrain.
In complete darkness, all memories faded into obscurity. You wake up in a small apartment, looking through the windows of Neo Tokyo's high-rise E5671. You see the city, fallen completely silent. You are not alone. It's getting closer.
I guess people were just in a spooky mood in late January or early February. So yeah, this is a pixel art, another sort of pixel art, I guess. With it set in Neo Tokyo, does that count this as like, I don't know, cyberpunk horror? I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, yeah, sci-fi dystopian is the user-defined tag, so kind of.
It is 62% off right now, so it's 75 cents.
Oh yeah, 64 pence here. It looks like there's some interesting visuals, and I'm curious what's going on. It seems there are like some dialogue tree choices going on. So I am curious about this game. I'm wondering how long it is. I'm seeing like 2 hours or under. With a lot of people's recorded times here. But yeah, it's interesting. Elegant, minimalistic pixel graphics, psychological horror, immersive.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, what?
I was gonna say I hear a siren, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is. Oh, okay. It's not going over the stream, but yeah, you guys are hearing the vacuum.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
The neighbors are remodeling, and so every now and then they have to vacuum and.
It sounds like in my headphones almost like an air raid siren.
So yeah,
it does. When I first heard that, I was like, "Oh my gosh!" But no, it's just the neighbors remodeling.
Sorry, stream. I'm sorry, stream.
Okay. It's psychological horror, immersive storytelling, multiple endings, 2 difficulties, Steam achievements, nowhere to run, nowhere left to hide.
I do appreciate that in none of these screenshots do they actually show the monster, which is excellent. Good job. If you're trying to be a horror game, don't show us what the horror is.
Yeah.
So, good job. But this is by Killed Pixel Games, and they are based out of Finland. They've also developed other pixel games, notably Alone and Inclement, both in 2018.
And both of those have positive reviews, 85% and 88%.
So yeah, it only goes over stream when I talk.
Oh man, yeah. It was like, is there a tornado in San Diego right now?
No, it'd be a tsunami siren.
Fair.
All right. Our next title is The Blind Prophet, and I didn't notice when you came in, but hello, Buffoon Batman.
A point-and-click adventure game. Resolve mysteries and fight the great evil.
What a description.
Yeah.
This was, I think this was on Kickstarter, and I backed it. But it from backing it on Kickstarter and then for it to be released, it didn't take very long at all, really.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this was one of those quick quick turnaround. Yeah. So I guess, you know, they'd finished quite a bit of the game.
I love the artwork.
Yeah.
There's so much, like, especially like the background detail. There's so much intricacy to it.
It's somewhat reminiscent of Darkest Dungeon.
Yeah.
That sort of the green, the very grim. It's definitely more. I would say this art style is a bit less cartoony than Darkest Dungeon. Because Darkest Dungeon still has that aspect of sort of cartoony, where this one takes it to an even more grim state, still being stylized, but very grim.
Yeah, it's got that sort of comic book kind of feel, like which I really like. So the Blind Prophet is a point-and-click game where you will play Apostle Bartholomeus in his divine mission: liberate the corrupted city of Rotbork and brave the great evil that lurks within. Although he's used to execute his duty, it won't be as easy as it should be this time. It won't be as easy as it should be this time. Free exploration in 99 hand-drawn panels with tiny details waiting for you to discover it. A strong storyline, but not without humor. Unique comic book art style experience. Various puzzles, challenges, and mini-games for a diverse experience.
99 hand-drawn panels.
I think that's like, I think that's probably a case where there's sort of 99 sets that you basically travel through. I do kind of like that they call it panels, sort of a reference to comic books. So it's almost like going through an interactive comic book. That is kind of cool.
Yeah, very, very graphic novel-y. It's I love the way this looks. I'm super sold on that right now.
Ars Geisha, I don't, if they wanted to pronounce Ars Goetia, but my Latin class was always Ars Geisha, would be how that would be pronounced. But they are a studio located in Lyon, France, and and I don't know if it's a solo dev or not, because they do have a birthday put on their Twitter, and apparently they were born in 1993. So, I'm an old man.
Yes. Listen.
This is £15.49. I'm seeing a lot of times coming under like 10 hours, so it's probably between that 7 and 9 hours of playthrough.
1999 US. I mean, it's if it's kind of like a long, it's like, you know, you would buy those sort of paper. I'm trying to think, like, this is kind of like an interactive comic book.
Yeah,
I don't think that's too bad, considering the clear effort of the artwork that went into this. Normally I'm still a bit of strict, and it's like, I don't like, there's other, it's hard to say that there's other games that have this level of caliber of at least presentation. So
sorry, Tom.
No, you're fine. This is definitely another case of I would have to play it and see if I could feel like I justified the $20 on this. Because, like, and of course, another thing that most people don't bat an eye is that, like, going out to a movie, you can easily spend $20 to only get an hour and a half, 2 hour, maybe a little longer payoff. Where this little bit higher for timing wise for 2 hours. So it depends on how you want to justify it.
Exactly.
The thing is, there's with these games there isn't a there's no replay value to it.
Yeah.
So I think putting it at a sort of mid to price range, that over £15, I think is a bit cheeky. I think under £10, you know, like $9.99 or something, or $10.99. Say, I think that's like, when it's full price, I think that should be enough, because again, you don't have replay value. I'm going to play it through and then maybe not think about it again or something afterwards. You know, it's one of those things.
And this also went through on Kickstarter too, so it was a funded game coming in.
Yeah. Yeah, so exactly, you've already got your money, and you're just trying to bring in other people who may not have seen the Kickstarter over to it. So, you know, you should should put it less. Oh, of course, though, it does depend on how much people paid during the Kickstarter, because if you put it less, people who paid for the Kickstarter say, hang on a second, why are they getting it for less? I shouldn't have backed it. So
yeah, there is that aspect too. That said, I mean, for me, 12 quid would probably be fine for this, but
yeah, this is slightly steep.
Yeah.
But it'll probably have a Steam sale someday, and it'll probably take it into that area if it's something you really want to check out. But yeah, it's beautiful though. Like,
yeah.
Holy crap, this is beautiful.
And it's at 91% positive with 59 users. So a lot of people seem to be happy with it.
Alrighty. Our next title takes a bit of a lighter side of things. It is Kunai.
Kunai is a quirky, fast-paced action-adventure Metroidvania. You play as Tabby, a tablet who joins the fight against a robot uprising. Use your kunai and ninja parkour skills to stop Lemon Kiss, the AI gone evil that almost wiped out all human life.
Lemon Kiss? Okay.
Lemon Kiss.
Yeah, this is by Turtle Blaze Studio. They are based out of the Netherlands and have 3 devs on their team.
Ooh. It looks interesting. I do like the color palette on it. It's really nice. And I do like you can sort of swing from place to place. It just looks so cute as well. I am seeing, like, recently though, it's the last 30 days it's gone down to mixed.
Yeah, from good, and I'm sort of curious why that is the case.
Yeah, from mostly positive to mixed, that's a lot. that's a lot that's gone down by. And I'm curious as to what's changed.
I think we're probably gonna skim through the reviews or something to figure out why. Because I know when I first looked at this, it was still like just mostly positive. I was like, oh, okay, it seems this went over well, but it's like, what happened? Maybe there was an update. Let's see, are there any updates? I mean, they have their OST for sale now. I'm not seeing any like recent patch updates. Not sure what happened.
Or maybe people picked this up, and because of everything that's been going on, they actually got around to playing it, and then it's it's one of those things, isn't it? There are the people that pick things up first and play immediately, and there are those people that, like myself, who maybe go through these things a bit later on and then give the reviews.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time skimming through the reviews trying to find like one thing that would give this a mixed. Like most of the negativity is really kind of all over the place in different areas.
Okay. So it may just be a general thing where people got a different game than what they were expecting.
Yeah, I see a lot of people say it just wasn't challenging enough for them. So,
yeah, that can happen too. If I mean, this is this is a Metroidvania, and if it initially becomes famous in the indie sphere, where it's like, oh, cool, a new indie game to check out, and people are like, oh, this was fun, and then the Metroidvania community comes in, they're like, this is child's play.
Yeah.
Like the veteran Metroidvania players. I could see how that might be a possibility, where they're like expecting a really rich Metroidvania experience. It was more of a casual Metroidvania experience. I could see feeling a bit disappointed in that.
Yeah, I'm just seeing how many hours it is. It's between 5 and 10 hours, it seems. And it's £13.49. I think the price point again is a bit
$16.99. That is also really short for a Metroidvania.
Yeah.
Because Metroidvanias are typically like 15 to 40 hours long if you're not a speedrunner.
Yeah.
So that's another aspect where sometimes games get titled with a genre that implies that it's a really long game. I mean, you don't have to be a long game to be in that genre, but if I do really appreciate companies that do specify that, like, oh hey, there's this much content in it if it is like sort of an unusually shorter title.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, that is Kunai. I do like the sort of pastel, sort of washed out look of it. That's very striking.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that sort of art style done with pixel art very often. It's just kind of it's hard. I guess just washed out is a way I can describe it. I'm trying to think of another term, but yeah, it looks neat. Oh, okay. So on their Twitter, they did say that they got review bombed on Monday.
Ooh.
I don't know why, but back on February 19th, they said that review bombed on Monday because at that point they had an 83 Metascore from reviewers and a 1.7 user score. Okay, I might have to leave a note for myself to research this.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because that is some interesting-ish. Juicy drama.
Like I say, did someone say something stupid on the internet?
I don't know. So I'm gonna put that in my research. You know what? I think I'm gonna have a section of the show where I'm gonna have like research results. Just because like every now and then you see these weird things. It's like, oh, I wonder why that happened. Anyhow, we probably talked enough about Kunai. Our next title is Skatemasta Tcheco.
This is where I would say something with the words and the reading, but I haven't clicked that far. Tcheco is back. Be prepared to survive even crazier stages. Smash, pulverize, and destroy. But never lose your gorgeous smile.
It's it's definitely going for the retro look, that is for sure. Going for the retro inspiration. So this is by Tcheco. Marcelo Barbosa is the developer, and he is located in Porto Alegre, Brazil, and he is a solo dev. This is also the second game that has been made with this protagonist.
I think it looks super. He's very reminiscent of like NES or Sega games I had back in the day. And also they've got some guest stars from other games, and one of them is, I think, one we've spoken about, Dandy and Randy make an appearance.
That's neat.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
I did notice a cheeky like homage to like sort of a Sonic, but not quite. Like the art style was different, so I did notice that. It was just like, they're making a cheeky reference to Sonic.
Yeah,
looks like a bad Sonic OC. But yeah, that's this looks really cute.
This is interesting. So, action platform game with automatic scroll. Play the levels in any order you want.
Oh,
that's interesting.
So it's very open-ended like that way.
So good. I'll just level select in the opening.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
The previous game for this was more of a traditional platformer where the screen wasn't scrolling and he wasn't on a skateboard. So that is also nice, where he just didn't just make the previous game he made, but with new levels. He actually mixed up the mechanic how it is. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah, I'm not sure how long this is, but it's only £1.69. So
yeah, $1.99 US. I'm just surprised for a game that's $2 that it actually has a demo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting. That is some dedication. I do appreciate it, because that is not exactly a high barrier of entry.
Yeah.
And they're just like, cool, there's a demo.
You can also get the bundle, which I think has both games for £2.23. So not bad.
Yeah, that's $2.68. That's really good. Yeah, and it's available in English and Portuguese. Oh, although full audio is only in Portuguese.
Oh, okay.
But they do have text in it. And that is that. It looks cute. Don't know much more to say about it. All right, our next title is Grimm and Tonic Aperitif.
Aperitif. Maintaining a healthy work-life balance is pretty tricky on a good day, but it's a damn near impossible when your boss threatens foreclosure on your mortal existence. As the new bartender at Dead End, you'll make new friends, mix weird drinks, all while navigating life, death, and everything in between. Apparently this game is in my library.
It is. Oh, you own
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't remember getting this.
it.
Oh, so maybe this possibly be a game you'll be playing this week, maybe if you already got it.
But quite possibly, we'll see.
Mm.
So this is developed by Spirit Wrench, who Sprite Wrench. I keep misreading that. It is Sprite Wrench. So he is a developer from Kingston, Jamaica, and is the self-proclaimed loudest member of the Jamaica Game Developers. What does S stand for? Society. Jamaica Game Developer Society. So he's a self-declared loudest of that. So yeah.
Is this the first step that we've seen from Jamaica?
I think it is. I think this is actually the first game we've seen out of the Caribbean. No, we might have had some. We might have had a game from the Dominican Republic, actually.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, we have had a game out of the Dominican Republic, but yeah, this is definitely the first game out of Jamaica. So that is really cool.
So you wake up one evening to find Death drinking tea while sitting on your sofa. Broke, friendless, and apparently soulless. He offers you a temporary job at the premier local shady hole-in-the-wall Dead End. Maintaining a healthy work-life balance is pretty tricky on a good day, but it's damn near impossible when your boss threatens foreclosure on your mortal existence. As a new bartender at Dead End, you'll make new friends, mix weird drinks, all while navigating life, death, and everything in between. Learn more about the residents of New Eden City and yourself in this noir urban fantasy visual novel. So this includes episodes 1, 2, and 3, a wide cast of patrons looking for a shoulder to cry on, a jazzy noir manga-inspired aesthetic, and choices that matter.
It looks really cool. This is sort of like I guess so. This is again. Let me see. Last week we had the coffee game. What is? I'm forgetting what this one's called.
This is Grimm and Tonic. That was Coffee Talk.
Yeah, Coffee Talk, and then besides that, there's Valhalla. So this bartender simulator type thing. Although this one seems more visual novel, very much more of a visual novel.
Well, I think they all are. There are all these visual novel aspects. That's the whole point. You have like the talking aspect, and then you have like that sort of like mixing drinks bit. So, although I'm surprised they don't show the bit where you're actually mixing the drinks, which would be helpful.
Yeah, I don't even know if they do any mixing drinks. It does talk about dialogue and features. I think this one is more of just a pure visual novel. It does only have 4 user reviews. There are some. I'm seeing it's kind of split 50-50 between positive and negative. Yeah,
it's mixed. It's showing 21 reviews that match the filters above, so it says mixed, so it's at 61% positive.
That said, all of the negative reviews are from early access period. No, wait, one of them's from post release. 2 of them's from post release. So yeah, there are a total of 22 reviews, but they're not all displayed. I want to see. Yeah, okay. Let me see. Post. I don't normally review. Let me see. All right. Sudden blank screen, unable to choose an option. Oh, okay. So that seems that the primary issue are bugs. Yeah. All right. That said, there are currently more releases. There are more releases that have come out. So this is version 1.0.0, but 1.0.3 also came out. and point 4 also came out just in March. So it is getting updates, but that is unfortunate that it's plagued by bugs.
It's always a shame, especially. I mean, and also in early access as well. When it's still in early access, it's like, yeah, of course, it's still going to have bugs. But then when you do full release and it still has bugs, then it's like, oh, it's so annoying.
Yeah, needed some more alpha testing and perhaps a wider pool of people to play test it.
Yeah, for sure.
That said, artistically, I do really like the art style. Normally, I'm not so much a fan of the photograph backgrounds in visual novels, but this one, like, because the black and white filter and the heavy lines filter were applied, it just ends up matching pretty well with the art style of the sprites.
Yeah, I really like it. I think
that's really good.
It goes really well. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm putting on this on my wishes, and I'm going to follow it to see if there's going to be any more updates and fixes. So I might get it eventually.
I might have to give it a whirl.
I have to give it a whirl. Alrighty.
Yeah, so it's $3.99.
Yeah, $4.99 US. Our next title is 36 Apples.
Well, in 36 Apples, collect apples and uncover the secrets of a self-contained world.
Are there 36 apples though?
Yeah,
I don't know. According to the reviews, there are indeed 36.
Oh, okay, confirmed. 36 confirmed. It's not going to be some trolley like there's a 37th apple someplace.
I'm just going to read what Buffoon Batman says. He says, eventually good is good enough for me. I'm very patient. We all have an untouched library, so it's fair enough to simply put it on hold, wait for a patch, and pick it up again. This is true, but I suppose especially if you're playing like a story type game and you're really getting into that story, and then you hit a game-breaking bug, and then it's like you're reading or your story's been interrupted, and it's like, okay, now I've got to wait. So yeah,
that is really frustrating.
Yeah, so I can understand people's frustrations.
Yeah, eventually, and that said, eventually good. I've seen many a game end up in that category, games that I didn't like before, and then after several patches just come back. Games, that is the cool thing about games, that is now an evolving, like, a game is not a static thing. You don't release it on a chip and it goes out into the world. That has both good and bad consequences, of course. But because the bad is that, now games are getting shipped incomplete. The good is that if they're shipped incomplete, they can get fixed. So
yeah. But sometimes it's like, I think, especially with people's ever-growing libraries, it's like first impressions sort of matter. So if it's like someone picks it up, there's a game-breaking bug, and it's like it can put you off from then continuing to play it ever, sort of thing. Some people don't pick it up again, and then that's such a waste, I think. Anyway, we're 36 apples. I like this. I like I like puzzle games, and I'm intrigued to see how this plays and everything, and it looks kind of nice. I like the how it looks graphically and everything.
Yeah, very very simple, but still very eye-catching. It looks like the mechanics very simple, but they work for what it is. You can tell what's going on. I don't know. There's something just very nice and simple appealing.
Just seems relaxing. It also has that low poly art style again, but this time, once again, it is unique enough that I'm not like, oh, I know where they got that asset and I know where they got that asset. It actually, it's very simple, but it definitely has an aesthetic. So I like that.
Yeah. And it takes 30 minutes to play, and this is a free game. So if you're looking for a nice little puzzle game to play, you can just pick this up for free.
I'm gonna probably play this after the show. It's my 30 minutes for free. Why not? I'll go ahead and we can talk about our experience tomorrow, next week.
Yes.
Tomorrow. Wait, what?
Tomorrow. No, don't you know we're doing daily podcasts now? That would be absurd. Ugh. All right. I mean, we could now with. I mean, it's not like we're going anywhere. but no, I wouldn't do that. The show would probably only have to be like 15 minutes long, though. Maybe 20. But yeah,
fair.
that is fair. Anyhow, 36 Apples. It is free. It's developed by a solo dev by the name of Justin Linton. He's on Twitter. Go check him out. He's at Aberrator_. So, but yeah, free game. Our next title, this has been the week of RPGs, but also the week of low poly. Our next title is Wide Ocean Big Jacket.
An aunt and uncle take their middle school niece and her boyfriend on an overnight camping trip in Wide Ocean Big Jacket. Take part in classic camping trip, roast hot dogs on the fire, go bird watching, tell ghost stories, grab a beverage from the cooler, and do cartwheels on the beach. It's a short story game including 20 chapters, 4 playable characters, 10,000 words of dialogue, and 8 explorable areas, all rendered in a beautiful 2D, 3D art style. And they say it's about 60 to 90 minutes on playtime.
Mm.
And it's $7.99 US.
Yeah. Yes, $5.79 UK. So it's like,
I do think their honesty, though, has really helped them, because right now they have a 100% review score, and I think it's because they're upfront about that. People knew what they were getting. So, yeah, that's probably, it's the folks who had the spare money and were like, I want an hour to 90 minutes to play something. Yeah.
I would want it less, like something like, I don't know, $2.50, £3 or something like that, because it's such a short experience, you know. Yeah. And it's kind of like, I feel like a walking simulator or something similar, or a more point and click, maybe.
Family's drama. Also, middle schoolers have like boyfriends and girlfriends now.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I mean, they did back in my day too.
I just didn't know any middle schoolers. The only people I knew who had like relationships were in high school.
Sorry, you have to tell me, how old are people in middle school? Because we don't have middle school. We don't call it middle school here.
I think high school starts at 15 in the US, right?
Yeah, just about. 14, 15, because high school 4 years, you graduate roughly at 18.
Oh, junior high. Junior high is like
high.
13 and 14.
Yeah.
So middle school, I think, is 12 down to what, 10?
Probably like 12, 13. I know our middle school now has 6th, and I think they have some 5th grade in there now too. Just combining schools, but yeah, anywhere between probably 10 and 13.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you'd have like, crushes and yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Akio. Yeah, because we're a different system here. So we have like secondary school, so it's 12 to 16, and then you can go on to like do A levels at college for 2 years, and then you go to university. But before that, you'll go to primary school. So yeah.
And in the US, not every state agrees like what the different tiers are. So different polities sometimes have different school systems. That also causes additional confusion in the US. I mean, we still all have 12 grades, but how they divide up those 12 grades is different. Yep. Anyhow, on a side tangent, I love the aesthetic. It's bright and colorful. I like the idea of just going off on a picnic. Again, I would probably prefer it to just be a bit of a longer game, but I appreciate their honesty. So,
yeah, I think at different price points. So I'd probably put this on my wish list, but wait for it to go on sale, because it's it's a bit much of a price point for me.
Yeah, 100% with you.
So these devs are actually quite prolific. Turnfollow. They only have one game on Steam, but if you actually go to their website, and on itch.io, they've made a ton of different games, and all of them, you can kind of look back and see the evolution of this sort of low poly art style, which is really fascinating. So the previous games are River Bones, Forever Transit Authority, A Good Gardener, Little Party, and get this title, Packing Up the Rest of Your Stuff on the Last Day of at your Old Apartment.
that is the title?
That is the title.
Wow.
Oh, I love it.
It's like one of those visual novel titles.
Wow.
It's very mundane.
It reminds me, a very quick side tangent, of a board game company that decided to name their board games exactly what you're playing. Like there's the one, Escape from the Aliens in Outer Space. What do you think you do? Like dead on the nose.
Amazing.
But, yeah.
Amazing.
Oh, Bella's aren't grade schoolers go on dates these days. No! Okay. I'm an old man now. My word. Alrighty. And with that, that's all of our past games. That's all our catch up. And so now we're ready for this week's releases. So excited.
Yay!
We're gonna have some great games. Now, so starting off, let's get into the rhythm of the show with Rhythm of the Gods. If I can spell it correctly.
I did the exact same thing. Join the strongest mortal warrior lyric in their mission to master the melody. Slide, jump, and slash to the beat to please the gods of rhythm. Solve the problems that the mortal realm faces in this auto-running, Greek-inspired rhythm game. Find a variety of mythological monsters, I promise I can say that word, that are causing a chorus of chaos to impress each god, and earn your right to challenge them one-on-one in a battle of rhythm. Of course, keep in time and reveal each god's true tune to persuade them that you have what it takes. Yeah, it's a dance-off. Okay.
I would suck at this game. just being honest.
Me too, completely.
And it is actually one of the criticisms I'm seeing about this game is that it is very difficult. But, you know, I feel like a rhythm game, I think most people who play rhythm games are looking for that experience where it is you just gotta get really good at the music and get fast at it. Also, Thor has like bedroom eyes, which is a little odd.
Is it really? Let's be real now. The love of Thor. Come on.
That just little snap when it got to not Thor, Zeus. Wow, I'm mixing up mythologies. I'm sorry.
Also, Zeus with bedroom eyes. Let's be real. Come on.
Yeah, true. That's what Zeus did. So
yeah.
Oh my god.
It's got a neat style. The thing is the visual novel part sections, I feel look significantly better than the actual the gameplay section, because the gameplay, there's 3 different art styles in the gameplay. There's the items on top of the bar, there's the actual stage that you're on, and then there's the backdrops, and none of them look like they're the same art style.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what caused that. I feel like it's probably a case of maybe let me see, this is a 4-dev team. So if it was a solo dev, I would think, oh, maybe they contracted like a few different artists to do different things. And I don't know, maybe they do have their own artists. It just doesn't feel like it matches up very
well. It really doesn't. Because I'm sorry, there's even looking at the thumbnail versus some of the in-game stuff where it's like, all right, here's supposed to be Lyric, who looks nothing like what she does in the thumbnail. It looks like 2 completely different artists.
Yeah.
Like the hair's different, the face is different. There's something off on this.
Yeah, and I'm not. And that's the thing. Like each of the individual things, if the whole game was done in that style, except the things on top, like the vases and stuff that are on top of the board, those look really like they were made in MS Paint.
Yeah.
Like the monsters and stuff that are on top of the bar look like they're made in MS Paint. The platform looks fine. The UI looks serviceable. The backdrops look great. but none of them look like they go together.
Yeah. Everything
Yeah.
is yeah. Oh yeah. That does look really crunchy.
Yeah.
The bars and everything. It's just like what? It's a shame. It's a shame because it does look like it could be a lot of fun and everything, but
Yeah.
Mm.
It's just here's us being art critics again. But yeah. It's just
But you know,
the feeling you get.
the you've got to make your game look cohesive, like
Mhm.
aesthetically. Otherwise, there's people gonna look at it and just say something seems off, even if you can't put your finger on it. What's
Mhm.
wrong with it? It's like it just looks off, and it puts a lot of people off. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's $3.99. I'm not sure how long it is. I only see 2 reviews up right now. But neither of them are over like more than an hour. As I've seen like 1 hour 20 or something, but that's about it. It's not a very long game.
That said, I'm sort of curious what their next development will be, because what could have happened here, because I did look, they do have an artist on their team. I am curious if maybe the artist made some things and then made other things and then made other things, and gradually they improved their art. Like they got better as they worked on it, because a game like this could have taken years. And it may simply be the case that they just didn't go back and redo what they already did, which can happen. Since you've been looking at it all the time, you just kind of don't notice your own issues. So that can happen. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I do like the gameplay though. The gameplay style looks interesting. There's the block, there's the attack, there's all of that is neat. Okay. Enough about Rhythm of the Gods.
Yeah.
now that we have a sense of rhythm, it's probably gonna help us with this next game. Output Pasture.
Pasture is a fast-paced tower defense game which combines the elements of roguelike. Unlock combined unique animals to battle together and fight the evil machine legion.
Yep. So you lead corgis into war with Skynet.
Corgis are so cute.
So the animals are finally getting revenge against Dr. Robotnik. They don't need Sonic anymore. They're fighting for themselves.
Well, it's corgis and Shiba Inus, so both the popular dogs.
yes, both the cute meme dogs. They're adorable. Yes. It's like a tower defense, but more like it's not quite a tower defense. It's more like you're doing like an army rushes. Yeah.
I saw
really
this.
Cute.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was like, oh, it's so cute. I was thinking, oh, I want to play this, but then I was like, oh, tower defense. See, I'm lured in with the cuteness and everything, but then it's like, no.
Eventually, it'll happen, and something will come along that'll expand your horizons. Eventually, it'll happen. It'll trick you into it, and then you're like, oh, but it's so cute, I must continue. That's how they get you. That is the trick.
Beat me with the cuteness. No.
What genre got me into... What recently did that? There was a genre of games I didn't normally play, but the cute design. You know what? Overwatch did that with shooters. Like, I don't like shooters, but I did Overwatch because the character designs were so cool.
Yeah, their characters are awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, every now and then a game will do that where it's like, oh, this looks so neat. Oh, I hate this game style, but it's so cute. I gotta play it.
I remember playing like Bloons Tower Defense because I like the art style. I like that. Like I was not a tower defense guy whatsoever, but I did play Bloons back in the day. But, yeah, I don't think even with how cute this is, and I mean, and it's not a fault to this game itself.
No.
This is just our personal taste in games.
Yeah, completely.
It looks good. There's not a ton to say about it. Besides,
sorry. It's a simple operation with your mouse only. Unlock over 100 kinds of animals. A skill card step by step. It makes you experience novelty from different combinations in every adventure. Okay. You have encountered over 50 events. Have they brought something good or bad? Complete achievements to get unique cards. Explore each unique battle scene on the map. Defeat powerful boss to get rare cards. Complete the collections by meeting characters and skills.
So yeah, that is actually really impressive. The fact that they have that expansive progression where you have all these different creatures that you can unlock. That's pretty impressive. They didn't have to give you 100 different animals to unlock, but they did, so that's neat. I always like that when they go the extra mile. It is 10% off right now at $8.09.
It's £5.57.
This is by DuskDogStudio, which I haven't been able to find out enough, but judging by some of the interesting grammar I've seen, just linguistic knowledge is like, this probably developed in China. I don't think it's a Japanese or Korean game, but they do have those localizations as well. I'm pretty sure this is a Taiwanese or Hong Kong developed game. Just my guess.
Yeah, looking at the reviews, and most of them are in Chinese.
Okay.
There's a few Korean.
I couldn't find any
well.
information on like the English internet about it, so I might have to translate the studio name or something to find more information. Yeah, DuskDogStudio. All right, enough with all this cuteness. We're going to get into like RPG, hardcore RPG. Yes, Iron Danger.
Iron Danger is a tactical combat game with a unique time manipulation mechanic. A never-before-seen combination that combines the tactical depth of turn-based games with the exciting action of real-time games. Tackle challenging encounters with your party of 2 characters, using a variety of skills in highly interactive environments. Maybe you'll set an enemy on fire and kick them into a grain field, or a proper barbecue, or set up a trap and fell a tree on top of them. The options are endless, and it is you who will be deciding your own approach.
So this really reminds me of Knights of the Old Republic gameplay, where you can kind of slow down and figure out what you're gonna do, but also has a rewind feature. So that's also a lot of it, where it's like, okay, I need you to do this, and you to do this, and you to do that, which can be fun if you're really engaged in the story, and that's why I played that in KOTOR. I don't know if I'd be so keen to play in a universe that I wasn't super dedicated to do that, like stop, rewind, reapproach the situation. I know some people get a kick out of that. That's not why I play RPGs.
Someone here says there's a lack of side content, no secondary quests, locations apart from the main ones, noticeable lack of polish and refinement in several areas, including optimization. Enemy variety becomes repetitive in the later parts of the adventure. Absence of a loot equipment system apart from consumables and throwaways. Interesting. Yeah, because when I think of RPGs, I think of like weapons upgrades and just general equipment, armor upgrades and everything like that. It's part of what I love. I love is like, oh, okay, I've got this nice fancy equipment now, I can take on this enemy probably a lot easier or something like that. But yeah.
I do kind of like the I kind of like the programming mechanic, at least everything that I'm looking underneath on the videos. It looks like a programming game at the end of the day, of like, okay, I want this to do this, so I put this here. How did they react here? I'll go back in time and rewrite that. It's a really unique take. The art style is, I don't mind it, in all honesty, and of course not seeing it like the way that people have played through. It's hard to see if there's a bit of crunch or kind of some missing polish on occasion. I saw a giant mecha bear that I thought looked really rad.
Mecha bear is pretty cool.
Right. I don't know. I'm kind of interested on this, but I'm also with you of I don't know how much I would put into this game because I'm not already invested into the lore.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something in there that has to get you sort of like excited about it, and it's I agree with you completely. There is 15 plus hours of gameplay. It does say there's no grinding, so that might be interesting to some people because you're not doing that, getting your skills up or getting those experience points to level up sort of thing. So yeah.
The look is all fine. Oh yeah, the mecha bear right there. The look is all fine. The only issue I have with it is it does feel somewhat generic. And the artwork is clearly all like self-done, but for example, if I saw another game with a similar art style, would I think like, oh, this is Copper and Iron Danger? No, I wouldn't. It was just like, oh, this looks like an RPG game. Because it's just not, from the armor to the weapons, like some of the enemies are pretty unique, like Mecha Bear, that's pretty unique, but a lot of the stuff, though it's really nicely done, it is greatly done, there's nothing that's really making me go like, oh, I will know what this game is just by seeing a screenshot. Yeah. I mean, if you have the UI there, you'll probably be able to tell what the screenshot of the game is, but without the UI, you're just kind of like, I don't know what the game this is.
Yeah, the top down makes me think probably like an ARPG is that initial first thought, and not like more maybe like a programming mechanic sort of game.
The mechanic is really cool, and I know a ton of people who would deep dive into this kind of game. Like even like go really hardcore is like, I'm gonna do it like a no damage run kind of thing. It's like I can go through the whole thing, not take any damage.
With as unique of a mechanic as it is, and the price point of where this game is at, I'm surprised there's not a demo. This definitely feels like something that someone may want to try out, because normally it's $34.99, it's 15% off, so $29.74 US. That's steep for something if you don't know the mechanic.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, it's as you said, 15% off, £22.94. I know, so it's 15 hours. There's no like side quests or like sort of extra content that you can sort of play through. There's just the main story. So yeah, it's a bit like, I don't know. This was published by Daedalic Entertainment. And they do like a lot of point and click. They publish a lot of point and click games. So yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised they published this.
And this is developed by Action Squad Studios. They are based out of Helsinki, Finland, and they are composed of 10 developers. Yeah, it looks like a fun game, despite like how we've kind of been like, criticizing it, but it's all out of love.
Yeah.
There's not really anything wrong with it, but there's definitely things, there's just spots where we're seeing missed opportunities. And I think that's the main issue. There just seems to be some missed opportunities. But mechanically, it is interesting, and I am curious if they ever do a follow-up to this game that sort of expands on the idea, or if maybe another developer might expand on this idea. So that is interesting to watch for.
Yeah, and it looks very nice as well. It looks polished enough. Yeah.
Alrighty. Now, after all that time manipulation, let me take you back in time to early 1900s Poland. Just everyone's favorite place to be in the early 1900s. Our next title is Mira.
Right. Sorry, I had to do a little bit of a deep dive because it didn't pop up right away. Oh, here we go. Mira is a point-and-click adventure game about the magical journey of the titular heroine from destroyed during World War II city of Krakow. She travels to a world of Slavic myths and legends. Will she find the true meaning of her destiny and endure among creatures forgotten long ago by history? Learn where were hiding water nymphs, imps, and drowners. All this player will discover while traversing through the mystical world of Navia, which, thanks to hand-painted art and unique music, may be closer than ever before.
Yeah, it doesn't look like 1900s Poland, do we? I'm not sure about you.
No. There's spots where you'll see references to it, but yeah, it is sort of that portal into another world kind of thing. But yeah, so there's like the real world setting, and then there's the fantasy world setting.
Got you,
it's got that sort of situation.
The little rodent with a pipe is so adorable.
Mm-hmm.
It's so cute.
Massive.
The developer is Too Husky, and I have no idea like where they're based. Besides, like they have it localized in Polish and English, so I'm gonna assume they're from Poland.
Oh, on the Steam page it says it's Canal Side Studios.
Uh-oh. A second. Which Mira did you go to?
I have Too Husky as well.
Too Husky?
I think you're on the wrong game, Rody.
Yeah.
I'm with you right now, Dewey. I've got Too Husky.
Oh yeah, Too Husky.
Oh yeah.
There's too many games called Mira.
Okay. Wait. Yeah, probably. Yeah, because mine says coming soon, so I'm like, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I actually had to type it in, push enter, and go down a little bit to the March 25th release date.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. No. Now I see it.
Oh yep. Okay.
Yeah, because
that's okay.
Doesn't look like.
A real state of the art is like 50 Shades of Grey. I mean, not gray, green. Freudian slip there, but it's like 50 Shades of Green. That's what I mean. Because it's a lot of green. There's a lot of green in this.
Yeah.
And there's times that I actually really like it, like looking at some of like the woodland critters that they have going on. Like here's the dude like kind of with the moss grass covered head. It's like, okay, he looks really cool, but with everything else it's like, if this is kind of point and click at times, stuff's going to blend in really hard at this game. Like yeah,
it's I would have like preferred changes in the color palette when they're going to certain places, because it looks very depressing. It just looks so depressing, and there's just not enough variety in colors, no matter where you're going. It's a lot of green. It's a lot of green.
Yeah, and as Belle says, especially if you're colorblind too.
Yep. So yeah, but this is Mira. It's $8.99 with 10% off right now.
That's not bad. It's like 10% off. Yeah, it's £6.47. So I'm going to put this on my wish list because I know a lot of people in the point and click community, and it might be one that I recommend to some people. It might be for them. I don't think it's for me. Just because of and it's a bit bad for me to say, because it's like just the way it looks, sort of thing. Because I can tell that they put a lot of love into it, but it's like I do need like color variety. Yeah.
I love their characters in this. Like they're so well drawn, so much detail to them, but you lose them into the 50 Shades of Green world.
Yeah. I'm curious how long this is. I'm seeing like 5 hours. Like just someone playing over an hour 40 or something like that. So it's probably not that long.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's to the point. Yeah, it's intriguing, but as someone who's not played very many point and click games, I'm kind of like me. I know other point and click games that are as good looking as this. Granted, this is This is kind of it's definitely. I mean, you've talked about a lot of point and click adventures and object finding games, and this definitely looks like it's in the top kind of 40-50% of that.
Yeah, it's one of those point and click games are definitely one of those things where you have to play them to know whether they're any good, because they can just like be like really strong at the beginning and then just fizzle out right at the end, and you've gone on this great journey and everything, and then they just don't have the money to finish the story properly, or you know, or it's just really the whole puzzle at the end is just a real letdown. So yeah, it is like something you have to play from beginning to end to get a real feeling for how it is.
And then the enemy escapes in a balloon, and that's the end.
Yes. Oh, and that was made in 2015, and it doesn't look like there's going to be a sequel, and it should not have been made in the first place, in my opinion.
I'm offering you a socially distant hug right now. I'm so sorry, Miss Rowdy. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
All right, that was a lot of green. So here's a bit more of a varied colored palette with our next game, an RPG called Grand Guilds.
Grand Guilds is a story-driven tactical RPG with unique card combat mechanics. You and your comrades will journey the lands of Iran, a continent on the brink of another war, while engaging in challenging tactical combat.
It aesthetically, it looks very nice. It kind of has that sort of pseudo anime aesthetic. It's pretty much on the anime aesthetic look. This is developed by DuskDogStudio, which is located in Naga City, in the Philippines. Solo dev Justin Villegas, but he did have help from 7 freelancers that he contracted with.
Oh, okay. It looks really. I really like the look of it. I do like that kind of cartoon style, and I think it's very well done, very well polished, and everything. I'm just wondering how many different sort of battleground maps there are. You know, if there's enough variety and everything. But yeah, other than that, it's quite nice. I'm not really like a card game sort of person, like card game RPG person. But you know, that genre is growing, and so maybe this could appeal to a wide range of people, I think.
Yeah, it does combine the sort of like the card game with the tactical RPG, smashes it together. And that's probably the more intriguing aspect of a lot of these releases. That's like, oh, Slay the Spire combined roguelite and card games, so let's just mash those together. This does have mixed reviews now, which it didn't when I first saw it, so that is concerning, with only 55% positive.
Yep. Yeah, and just looking at trying to find
the bulk I'm running into on the negatives are, and I didn't mean to cut into you, is the bug issues are what I'm running into. Is one of the heavily, most everyone is saying downright buggy issues.
Ooh.
Which that's always
game breaking bugs, user interface polish. There's a lot of little things that would make the game more palatable but isn't implemented. Level scaling enemies. It's not necessarily bad design choice in the right context. Here though, where the story is linear, you get characters at different rates and you're supposed to swap them out to try out others. Level scaling doesn't work unless your team is entirely composed of low-level characters or high-level characters with no room for in-between. It isn't helped by the crash bug and monotonous missions. The extra missions can be quite monotonous, yet you need the income from those missions to unlock cards. Oh, that just doesn't sound fun.
And going through some of like the bug issues and some of the difficulty issues, I am seeing this DuskDogStudio responding to folks saying that they are working on making some changes to the game, with like some experience share changes and difficulty adjustment. So it's one of those, it looks like they needed to test their game out more before release,
Yeah.
or this might have been better to release as an early access if they didn't have the access to like a good testing group of sorts before going for a full release. But at least they're listening and responding. That's
seen a lot of that, because when I go over some of the games from our other podcasts, well, from our earlier podcasts, and write them up, some of them have gone either back into early access or gone into early access because of the response from the community. So I think I wouldn't, this would be one I wouldn't be surprised if it went into early access. Because of what people have been saying, they really do need to put a lot more polish into it. So maybe this is one that people follow. It is 10% off right now, and it's $13.94. But I think with all the issues that people are having, and the devs are fixing those issues and everything, I think if you are interested in that kind of gameplay style RPG tactical card game, I think it's one to follow and then pick it up when they've put in some fixes.
Yeah, I actually have this game on my wish list because I am actually very curious about it. So I do want to check it out. The gameplay and the design itself seems right up my alley, but yeah, if the game breaking bugs, that could definitely be an issue with it. Well, yeah, that is an issue with it. So but just something about it, I feel like there's something really promising here that I really want to check out eventually. So, and hopefully it gets to a point where it's going to be the perfect time to check it out. All right. From nice casual turn-based card game tactical combat, our next game takes that but then adds anxiety, which in the game One Step from Eden.
Eden is the last shining beacon of hope in a bleak post-war world. One Step from Eden combines strategic deck building and real-time action with roguelike elements, giving you the chance to carve a path of mercy or destruction. Fight alone or with a friend in co-op as you cast powerful spells on the fly, battle evolving enemies, and collect game-changing artifacts. Can you make it to Eden, or will your destruction be imminent?
So yeah, having to think on the fly. That sounds great. I know people who would love this, absolutely love this, and visually it looks fantastic. It actually looks a lot better because I've been following this game for a while. It looks a lot better now than it did in the past. They've updated the grid so it kind of fits in with the backgrounds a bit more. It just kind of mellowed out the colors of the grid, I think. There's a character from Crosscode that is now in the game too. I don't think they feature her on any of the reviews, but I do kind of like the sort of idea that there's sort of an indie developer expanded universe that seems to happen sometimes. I do like that.
Yeah. So. I know you said like they've improved a lot of the grid graphics and everything, but I don't know. There's something about it. I feel like it could look better or something. I don't know what it is. It's just not. To me, it's just not that visually interesting. I don't know. I do like the animations of the characters and everything like that, but I think the backgrounds, they're just not. They're not that interesting to me. Sorry.
I think the aesthetic would be greatly helped if the grid that they were standing on actually changed for each setting, like it, kind of fit the setting. I think that would look a lot better. I get what they want to do, where it's very clear and visual, like it's easy to tell what you're doing, and I think they had to sacrifice aesthetics for gameplay in this situation. But yeah, I can see what you're saying.
And as fast-paced as everything is, I'm leaning more on the side of I'll take gameplay over aesthetic. in that case, because it's looking at everything, it's like, oh man, this is going quick. I would need to be able to read stuff on the fly, see stuff. If it gets muddied, it's going to be a little bit harder to do, but
Yeah.
it's still it's still a little yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally. It's you know, if you have to think fast, you got to see where everything is and what you need to do, sort of thing. You know, you've got to, can't have anything mudded.
Yeah.
However, I suppose because I'm not, if I play RPGs, I do like that sort of slow, methodical kind of tactical thinking that goes on, and that's why I like turn-based RPGs, because you know you're gonna get to think about, say, okay, this is what I'm going to do next, and blah blah blah. So you can spend a lot more on visuals, and you can make things look more interesting. So yeah, I think
that is actually the one reason this game is not on my wish list, because though I do like it a lot, I would prefer this as a turn-based game, personally. I get why it's the action, because guess what? A turn-based games of this sort of thing, dime a dozen. There's a lot of them. And it may be hard to get noticed, and having a more action-based grid game, it makes the game stand out. It makes it unique, and I think it's why they now have 544 reviews. Yeah, so this is developed by Thomas Moon Kang. He is based out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and it is published by Humble Bundle. So that is also, you know, pretty impressive.
Yeah, there's like 544 reviews at 93% positive. So, you know, it obviously is, despite our, you know, critiques and everything, it obviously is like a very good game. And it's at £14.99 right now.
I don't even know if most of the stuff we're even like so much critiquing is just like, yeah, I don't think this really fits me.
yeah, no, this is true. It's all about a lot of the stuff we read is like personal taste as well. Although obviously, you know, there are some games that I just universally, you know, this is maybe what you should do or something.
Yeah. Because I definitely can say the best part of this game is the sprite and the animation work. The backdrops are fine, but yeah, the play space, I don't know how it could be improved to also work well with the gameplay, but I know it could be improved somehow. But I'm not a genius on that. But yeah.
We without being able to help provide a constructive answer, I'm not going to critique them in a negative way for it. That's
And that's another thing, because there's also mechanics here, like there's spots where the grid smashes.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Tom cut out for me.
Oh, hello?
Oh, there you are.
Hi. I missed you.
Okay. Yeah. And yeah, there's also like another thing I just noticed just now is apparently these platforms can shatter, and when they're shattered, you can't stand on them. And so that's another aspect where it's like, okay, I can see why they kept the grids looking as simple as possible, because it needs to be visible. Anyhow, enough on that. Enough on platforms. Yeah. After all that innovation, I think it's time that we go back to something a bit more familiar. And with that, we have Joyfess Episode 1. Did I copy paste it correctly? Come on.
Maybe.
There we go.
Joyfess Episode 1, Martin's Secret Recipe, is a revival of the point-and-click adventure genre of the 1990s, featuring traditional animation, full voice acting, rich dialogues, and an unpredictable family-friendly story. Jump back into the all-too-familiar Caribbean setting in this modern classic made for the HD screens of today.
This is like eye-rolling for me. So Monkey Island, it was probably one of the first games that a lot of people got exposed to in terms of point-and-click games, and they were fantastic point-and-click games. Ever since, developers have tried to make Monkey Island games. I've like played quite a few of them, and they just don't live up to Monkey Island. So instead of like making Monkey Island, just make your own kind of point and click game that doesn't maybe involve pirates. And because I'm looking at this, and there's just so many things that seem like from scenes of Monkey Island, and it's like, why have you done that? Why don't you? Oh, I'm kind of annoyed.
Yeah.
With it because you know it's just not going to be as good. Like looking at it, you just know it's not going to be as good as Monkey Island was. So it's just like, why try?
So how do you really feel about this?
Yeah, because that's the first thing I thought. When I saw this, I didn't think that, like, oh, what's this game? And I thought, like, oh, this looks like a Monkey Island ripoff. That was my first idea when I saw it.
Yeah.
I mean, for people looking to play Monkey Island again, I get it. But yeah, I know what you're coming from.
Yeah, it's yeah. Sorry, Tom. What's your opinion?
No. I agree with you. At the same time, if they're able to make their own path into the world that may be Monkey Island adjacent, as long as it turns out okay, and granted there's only 2 user reviews so far, I like the art style. If it plays smooth, that'd be great. I get the issue though, so
yeah, the thing is, it's just there's been quite a few like Monkey Island-ish kind of games, and it's like, well, you can make your own, like do your own path. It's like,
yeah.
Especially recently, especially in the recent years, there's just been a lot of these. So it's like, hey, remember Monkey Island? Remember how much you liked Monkey Island? Hey, we made Monkey Island for you. Want to play it again? Yeah. That's kind of situation.
Well, and then especially reading their description here too, of like we're revival of the point and click of the 1990s. I'm like, you're not the first and only that have ever done this. Like, this is not an original thought to do. Are you not paying attention to other games coming out in your genre or field?
Yeah, a little late to the races.
It's a bit ridiculous, really. I don't know. I'm sorry, game devs. I'm sure like you put your heart and soul into this, but it's like it's something I've seen. It's something I've played, and I don't approve.
That said, as someone who really loves pixel art ARPGs that are basically look like Hammerwatch, I wouldn't mind if one of those got released every year. So,
yeah.
I will say that, and that was kind of an interesting thing recently with the DLC for that game, was that because they deviated too much from the art style, and like technically the art was better, I didn't like it as much.
Oh, so that's interesting. Interesting.
Like, it's not the same old aesthetic. That I just like, and I thought to myself, like, had this game released looking like this, I would probably have that same reaction, like where it's like, oh, this looks great, and if they had done something different, it's like, I like the old look. So it's that weird kind of human desire for familiarity that I think this game in particular is trying to.
It's not so much the look; it's. You can tell it's not as there's certain things that are quite sparse about it, and there's I don't know, it's just not as intricate. And when they say, oh, it's got like Monkey Island kind of humor in it and everything like that, there's so many that I've played now that say that, and the humor is just like falls flat on its face. So it's that for sure.
Anyway, Sandwagon Games, the developer. I didn't find out much information about these folks actually when I looked them up.
That might be good, so Roadie doesn't get an address for them to send them a strongly worded letter. There's 15 locations, and there's an hour and a half of spoken dialogue. So, but yeah, I'm seeing about 3 hours of gameplay, 3 hours and 10 minutes from both
reviewers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's £11.39.
Yeah.
For
$14.99 US.
That's a lot. That is a lot for one episode and possibly like 3 hours.
Yeah. And how long is Monkey Island? I remember that game being
It's very long.
Longer.
It's quite long. It's quite long. I can't remember how long it is though.
I know a lot of it was the moon logic though.
yeah, because it's very, very much of the, because it's in the dev's head sort of thing, kind of puzzles.
Rub the banana on the statue.
Yes. Dear.
Now with all that like we've talked a lot about single player games today, but sometimes you just want to hang out with a friend 6 feet apart. And this next game will let you do that in Biped.
Biped is a co-op action adventure game with a strong focus on moment-to-moment collaboration between 2 players. And you're playing 2 little bipedal robots, Aku and Scylla. They'll walk side by side and embark on a fun bonding journey.
This is really cute. It's very, very cute. This is developed by Next Studios, based in Shanghai, China. It's just very, very cute. So, I do like that about it. It's very cute.
Oh, so if you're interested, Monkey Island, if you're a completionist, it's 7.5 hours to complete.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, this just looks fun. It seems that the movement system is a little weird. It seems they control both of your feet. Like judging on how they move. So I think there's a bit of an odd walking mechanic going on. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, I just like the way it looks and everything. It's very polished and
it has online co-op. It's not just couch co-op, which
nice.
I'm already on board with this game and throwing it onto my wish list. I just need a friend to play this with me. This looks awesome. I'm immediately in love with this.
Single player is also possible. I'm not sure how. Like maybe there's either you give AI control or you have to swap between the characters. Because seen some of these puzzles. Like some of these puzzles would be very difficult.
I think it could play like Two Brothers mechanic, where you've got one part. So if you're playing on a joypad, one part of the joypad is controlling one of the brothers, and the part of it is controlling the other.
Oh yeah, for those really ambidextrous people.
Yeah, I've got toes. I mean, I feel like monkey feet. I might be able to make this work. And I'm over 6 feet tall, and so I'm 6 feet away from my feet. So it's social distancing with myself.
Nice, very good.
Yeah.
You're over 6 feet tall.
Oh damn yeah, it. I'm like 6'4".
Oh,
I got the cursed number of 5'11".
You poor short individial.
Yeah, no, I'm so short. Even though 5'11" isn't short, but
no, it's really not.
No,
I'm a mighty 5'3.5".
Yeah, that's all of my sisters. All of my sisters are like in that range. So, but I'm still taller than my brother. Anyhow, height. How do we get on this? This is just really cute, and that's the thing. The problem with this being so cute, I really don't have much to say about it. It's just cute. Like, it looks cute. It looks fun. I should probably put it in my wish list. And it's 15% off, and it's $12.40.74. So.
Yeah, it's 15% off, £9.68. So that's quite a nice price point, I think, of something like this.
Yeah. Especially if you buy 2 copies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's cute. Bipeds.
Well, I do wish they did have a sort of bundle for 2 players though.
That would be nice, like a
Yeah.
bundle, maybe slash off another 25% or something off the cost.
Yeah, because it would encourage like someone, the second your friend to buy
someone
or something.
picking it up for it up for the two of you, because if it's, I mean, unless they really wanted to push this more as a couch co-op and the online is just a little extra.
Yeah, but how many people play Steam couch co-op? It's not a lot.
Yeah,
That's the thing. Not a lot of people play it that way.
And not right now.
Yeah, not right now. So yeah, it's just, if you're making a co-op game that's primarily for co-op, just make a bundle. Trust me, you'll sell so many more copies. Well, anyhow, for those of you who actually have more than one friend, there is our next title, Trailer Trashers.
Well, I'm out.
Oh. Oh, my heart.
Only Road is my friend. We learned earlier Dewey doesn't actually like me.
Oh.
But I like Dewey. That's what matters. Hey, play online with Steam Remote Play together. Join with up to 4 players in this hectic twin-stick bullet-bouncing frenzy. Challenge your friends in deathmatch. Last man standing, shotgun soccer, or crown yourself king of the couch, in quotes, in the all-including party mode.
So I'm seeing a lot of game modes, and I'm seeing a lot of different maps to play on, so that is already very cool. Does this have online? No, it does not. That is a problem.
I think that's why they play online with Steam Remote Play. Is why they have that in their first line of like, hey, we don't have this part, but there's a workaround.
Yeah, the thing is, Steam Remote Play, unless you both have very fast internet and don't live too geographically far away from each other.
Yeah.
I've tried it, and sometimes it works fantastic, and other times it just so.
Yeah. Myself and we have Zod did remote play, and we tried it with a VR game, which we figured that was really going to be pushing it, and it surprisingly worked just fine. We were quite surprised how well that did. But something where it looks like this high speed and possibly up to 4 people trying to play together, and I don't know how many you can connect at one time with remote play. It has me really, really curious how well this game would hold up.
Yeah.
It's 20% off right now at £6.39. These are my kind of games, but I think it could be fun. But again, it doesn't have like, they haven't sorted out their own multiplayer, which I think is is a real disappointment there. I do like they've got the death match. The last one standing is shotgun soccer, head soccer, and party mode. And 8 arenas in 3 locations. So it's nice that they've put quite a bit of effort into this, I feel, but it's just a shame they don't have their own multiplayer sorted.
Yep.
And I do like something that, at least looking at the actual gameplay portion of this, that I like. Instead of just having the character be the color, they have that big old circle around them for what color it is. Because a lot of times in these kind of games, you can lose your characters quickly, and this has not only what direction you were shooting in, but that big old circle of color around them too, to really help distinguish where you're at on the map at all times. I like that. It's a nice touch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is a very nice touch. On these developers, the Sakari Games, they're based out of Antwerp, Belgium, and they have 5 team members, and they're prolific developers. They have also created Cargo Breach, Foreign Legion, and 2 different Foreign Legion games. So in 2009, 2012, 2017, and now 2020. So they've made a lot of games, but they don't seem to be churning them out. So,
yeah.
And they do say have a Belgian beer and enjoy the game as much as they enjoyed making it.
Aww.
That's a cute note. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trailer trashers. I feel like I'm sort of collecting like a backlog of all these like couch co-op games. My grand plan is to have kids someday. And then I'm just gonna have all these like collection like this, the balloon, like that balloon game where it's like those 4 balloons floating around and surrounded by spikes. That one's fun. There's just all these like really cute multiplayer games that I just have like in the back of mind collected. And then just gonna have like this huge library of co-op games to play with my kids.
So when you've like really annoyed with them, say, kids, go in the other room, go play this library, go, leave me alone.
Yeah. Well, also like to ensure that they, you know, I produce my own like co-op players. I can't get friends to come over, so I'm gonna make my own friends.
I mean, Rody and I would come over and play with you. I guess. Once again, you don't like me, but I like you. All right.
I don't think that's why you have a relationship with someone, just so you can say to them, wife, need one more for this 4-player game.
We need to have at least 3 kids.
We
No, 2 kids, because there are 4 of us, yeah. We need at least 2 kids, so we have player 3 and 4. No. But that was my dad's joke, was that he said he would want 13 kids so he'd have a football team. Yeah, that was a joke. My mom did not run away screaming, so that's how I knew she was the one. Yeah. So that was on their first date, actually.
Wow,
I thought I was smooth. Wow.
And she's just like, oh, okay. That was my mom. Anyhow.
I love it.
They only had 7. But anyhow, enough about that. So yeah, Trailer Trashers. It looks great. It's $7.99 US. Now we've talked about this, you know, having friends and like playing with other people. Let's roll things back. 2 more introverted pursuits with Assemble with Care.
When Maria, a globe-trotting antique restorer, arrives in the sun-soaked town of Belarivia, she has no idea just how broken it will turn out to be. She wants nothing more than to help the town's inhabitants save their most beloved possessions. But when it's their personal lives that are starting to fracture, she'll need to find a way to hold them together, one spare screw at a time. I'm really glad they said spare screw at a time and did not leave the word spare out, because it would have been a completely different game.
I really like the look of this game. I like the idea of it as well. It's just you're taking time and you're, you know, undoing things, putting things back together, fixing them, and it's just quite relaxing, and it just looks so nice. I really like the color theory on it and everything. It looks so pretty. Yeah, there's quite a lot of people that picked this up already. 302 users, and it's at 87% positive.
It's got quite a stunning visual style. That's not like, it's not that it's really necessarily like high effort. It's just got a nice palette. Yeah, it's like it's smooth, it's clean, got a nice palette. It sounds like they probably have a pretty decent, relaxing soundtrack. Like, this seems like the perfect game for this time in history to just kind of calm down, relax, and just put things together.
Staycation.
So this is by Oostwell Games. They are based out of London, England.
And
Yeah,
yes, sorry,
go ahead. No, go right ahead.
I was gonna say it's 15% off right now, so it's only £4.92. I do wonder how long it is. But yeah, go ahead, Tom.
I'm seeing about an hour and a half is the rough average on that, but I've been watching the little video, but I turned the audio on just so I could kind of listen to the background, and it's just peaceful. I was surprised there was actual narration going on from your character in this game, so there is actual voice acting from the sounds of things, but all of the sound effects, everything going on, this is well put together. I'm quite a fan.
I think if this was like even just kind of like a puzzle game, like, you know, you're just repairing stuff, I would be fine with just that as well. But it's also it's got like a great story to it as well. So I'm really makes it even more interesting to me. So yeah, I really want to play this.
Yeah, I also like the idea of just fixing these old pieces of technology, because I always like going when I like visit someone's house and they're still using something that's just really old and it works fine. I don't know, there's something like really comforting about that. Like my parents still have their VCR that they still use.
Okay.
And like they have an old mixer with like it still has like instead of having a rubber coating around the electro wire, it's still fabric. So which is dangerous, but like they're careful with it.
Awesome though.
But it's it's kind of that comforting feeling like this thing's just never going to die. So and you know, it's the type of thing where it's like so old and so faithful that when it does break down, you actually take it apart and you make sure that everything's okay. Just code.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you assemble with care.
Yes. I think this is going on my wish list. So yeah.
Same here.
It's yeah, and it's the one thing about it is I feel like once you run out of things to fix, it's gonna feel like, but I wanted to keep going.
That's true. That's true.
And I know it probably takes a lot of development time for each of these items. So it's just like I would really want like a 20-hour game like this. Maybe that's probably demanding too much. I know.
You can only wish. You know, maybe with success they'll bring in like some DLC or something for it.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I would pay a couple $dollars for another like hour of DLC if it was you know, sort of satisfying.
It's a fair price point for the aesthetic, everything else going on to it. At least the on sale price, I think $8. It's not a terrible point of entry, but for maybe an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's $6.79 on sale, which just isn't too bad.
Yeah.
Yep. Alrighty. Next we have a demo prologue. Unbound Worlds Apart.
Explore beautiful handcrafted Metroidvanian worlds using portals. Solve puzzles by using the enemies to your advantage. Wow, I can read. And progress through your adventure at their expense. I just kept jumping the line down to adventure. Like, no, stay there.
It looks very pretty, and it's kind of nice that you know, we were talking about certain games should have a demo or a prologue or something because it sort of gets you into that the story and lore of that world, especially if you bringing out a game that maybe is going to cost a bit more than a tenner or something like that. You know, it's important to sort of build that hype and also get a fan base. It just makes sense. It just makes sense to do that. And this looks great.
Yeah, this was a Kickstarter game from May 7th of last year. Sorry, continue.
There is a mechanically interesting aspect of like you basically open up a portal to an alternate sphere and that changes the area around you. But then when you close it, you're back in the other world, and there's dangers in both worlds. So sometimes just like, okay, gotta get past this wall. Open it up. There's a giant spider about to eat you. It's like, well, crap. How do I get around this? So now I've got to like get through obstacles on both sides. So it's a neat idea.
Nice. I wonder how long the prologue is. I mean, it's free, but I'm just wondering how. If it its own contained story, or if is it like the beginning of the the main game that they're doing.
Yeah, a really good prologue would be like, oh, here's like the first hour something, or half hour. Half hour is also fine. As long as it just gets you the idea of what the gameplay's like.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if they have anything on it on the Kickstarter page right now, and I'm not running into it.
I'm seeing anything from like half an hour to an hour. So yeah, that's fairly decent. That's fairly decent prologue. But you know, if this looks great to you, give it a try, and then the main game will be coming out sometime soon. It says, it doesn't say when.
Yeah, it's just they don't have a release date. Hopefully this year. But this is developed by Alien Pixel Studios, which are based in Bucharest, Romania.
They also on their Kickstarter, they have a little statue for sale of their main character that is absolutely adorable. I threw it in our little Discord chat.
That's
however,
cute.
Oh, it's cute.
However, $250.
Ooh.
Oof.
Is it made of good materials?
Yeah, it was definitely as a way to try to support them even more in this endeavor, but I'm like, that better be a massive deal. And they also said $30 for shipping on that.
Oh,
No, you were price gouging for that.
Well, $30 on shipping.
I think better be like 6 feet tall.
Are they shipping from Romania though?
That's a good point.
That might be because if they're shipping, like if it's international shipping,
then
that
it's
can go
actually
up pretty quick. Right. Yeah,
I am now off my high horse.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, because it's okay. I know I'm used to American shipping rates, but I have ordered a lot of things from Europe, and the shipping.
Yeah,
stupid.
It is. Yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot. Or you know, if I get stuff from America, like sometimes it's.
Trying to send stuff to Roadie to help her out with costumes and makeup. It was like, here's the smallest, easiest way to send it. Why is it this much?
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Thank you, Tab.
Oh, you're still welcome.
My parents buy medication from the UK. So they have to get every now and then they get a package from Her Majesty's Her Majesty's
the Royal Mail,
the Royal Post or something like that. So it's just
Royal Mail.
Yeah, Royal Mail, and so they're just like, oh yeah, that's right, that's our medicine. Like what?
Thank you, my queen, for.
Yeah, it is expensive, but it is cheaper than buying it from the States. So,
So what you got for us next?
Alrighty, our next title is our second to last title, Charterstone Digital Edition.
Yes, build and discover in Charterstone a digital board game campaign. Shape your village into the new eternal city. And this is the digital adaptation of the Stegmaier board game. It is a campaign board game too, but when you were all said and done, you actually had a custom board that you could kind of continue to play on as well. But they actually made a digital version, which I was quite surprised. For a very, very popular board game.
When I first saw this, I thought it was like a Facebook game at first. The sort of art style.
Yeah, it has that look. Yeah. It's because and also it's got that tag casual, and it's like whenever you see that tag casual, you think is this?
Wonder.
Yeah, you do wonder. Yeah.
Yeah, but to hear that's actually based on board game, that does make it more interesting.
Yeah, and they're holding very true to the art style of the board game itself. And of course just adding a couple little animations here and there, but they are not far off of the board game art, which I'm also a very big fan of.
There is online PvP, so which I guess is just like online gameplay because this is a competitive, very much a competitive game.
Right. And it's one of those two. You're gonna want to keep playing this campaign with the same folks because it's the campaign divided into a series of separate game. Each game has its own unique rule and bonus objective. Each game builds upon the previous one and adds something new every time. So you're kind of learning the mechanics as you go along, which works really well in a board game setting. But it's a really well put together game. It's as I said, this is one I was not expecting to see put into a digital format. I figured this would just stay as a board game. So when all of a sudden like it popped up like, hey Radio Tom, you may be interested in this game that just came out. It's like, what? Yes.
That sort of reminds me, have you ever played Pandemic, the like series version of Pandemic, where it's kind of like it evolves as you play it? So that's neat.
Yeah.
There's other board
I
games.
played, yeah.
Yeah, season 1 and season 2. I've got 2 campaigns of season 1 going right now, and I finished one, and I've had like 2 seasons of Pandemic season 2 going. Yeah.
I need to
so
get
good.
to season 2. I think me and my friends almost finished season 1.
The only go ahead, Rody.
Sorry. I always find Pandemic very interesting because it's like you peel things off, and it reveals something, and it's like, and you can't kind of use it again, sort of thing. So it's just like, wow, that's it. You could sort of have one playthrough of it or something. It's very strange to me for someone who doesn't play board games usually.
Yeah, Pandemic Legacy, I wasn't a big fan of. When it was done, you didn't have just like a custom version that you could just kind of keep playing the base game on. It was when you're done, it's done. And they took that issue because that was one of the biggest criticisms, because the entry point of those games was about $75.
Yeah.
For a game that you could get 12 to potentially 24, 23 playthroughs of, and then it's done, you throw it away. Was a problem. So some of the newer legacy games that they're putting out, it is, here's a big story campaign that then ends where there's a free play mode at the end, so you can keep this in your collection. You just have a customized version of that game, and it's like, okay, good. I'm glad you're doing this now.
Yeah.
Or what Charterstone did was they had a little thing where you could it was like a replay set where you could just like reset the story when it was done. So like if there was stickers or something like that, they were like just tacky things that you could just pull back off. Something along those lines, but yeah.
All right. And so the board game is developed by Akram Studio and Mobo Studio. Mobo Studio is they're called Mobo, I think, because it's mobile board game. So because what they do is they adapt board games to Android, iOS, but also PC and console. But yeah, they're based in Rzeszów and Warsaw, Poland.
It's 12% off right now at £12.75 UK.
1671 US. But yeah, I'm really excited. I wonder, does Pandemic have a? Yes, they do. There is
not Legacy, but yeah, there is Pandemic. It's a port of the mobile game.
Okay. I'd be really interested to see like the Pandemic Legacy get a release. That would be awesome.
Same here. The one that I really want thrown onto digital format is Betrayal at the House on the Hill. There's a Betrayal Legacy that I played through that is absolutely fantastic, and I would love to see a digital version somehow be made of that game. It's so good.
That'd be good. Alrighty, so we're at Saturday, March 28th, and our final title is Dotori.
Dotori. It's a hardcore platformer with some puzzle elements. We have to break down some simple puzzles and jump at the correct timing to clear the stages. That is descriptive of platformers and puzzle games without telling me anything special about your game.
Yeah, it's not very. They could have. What I would have probably preferred is if they just talked about the themes of the game, etc. Like the fact that you're some sort of teddy bear. That might have been interesting to talk about.
He looks like a. I thought he was a mouse because I keep seeing like cheese sort of things.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's so weird.
Maybe he's a mouse.
It's got it's got the same blurb as it does in the about this game, and about this game there's just four. There's not much. It's just like it's showing 4 different stages, and that's about it.
You might be right on the teddy bear. I think the only reason I thought I saw mouse was especially with the owl in the background.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, maybe that's your enemy in this, and you're a mouse running from that. But looking a little closer, I think you're right on the teddy bear. But they really need to add some description in there about that says a little bit more than just it's a platformer.
Yeah, you're a hardcore platformer. Okay, that's fine. I can see that in the genre list. But what are you? Are you a plumber looking to save the princess? Are you?
Yeah. What's your motivation? Yeah.
Like, I know the story is not the main thing, the platforming is the main thing, but you need to at least have a premise. Please give me the premise. So, but I like the style, the art style. I get a weird, like, I don't know why. I think it's the color palette, but I get a weird oh, what is that? Persona. Like, I get kind of a weird Persona vibe from the color palette. Like, oh, I kind of feel like this like the shading and the colors remind me of Persona. So that's nice. I do like that. The platforming looks fun and tight.
Would you say tight and juicy?
I knew that was coming. I knew it.
And it's developed by a single dev, located in Seongnam-si, South Korea. So, yeah, it's a solo dev project. Really good looking.
Some of the textures in the level are a little pixely at times, a little just off for me, but otherwise it looks like and I wish there was English reviews that I could run into just to see how the actual platforming is, because that's the biggest part. Is your platformer smooth? How does everything handle at the end of the day? And that's not anything I'm running into. So
yeah, no, completely. Yeah, we unfortunately, we don't seem to have a lot to go on here, so it's just what we're seeing is what we're getting. There's nothing in the discussions, so it's you can say it's 10% off right now. It's $8.36. If any of you guys give this a go, do let us know what you think of it. So we'd love to hear your opinions.
It did just come out yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and on social media, their posts are almost entirely in Korean. So I'm like, okay, not getting much additional information here either, because unfortunately I don't speak Korean yet.
I would wonder how if this game picks up traction, because there's just so little the dev has given us to go on. For someone who was into platformers, those would look at this and say, okay, but what's the deal with it?
I mean, there's even in-game cutscenes, so it's like
yeah, there's a story of some sort going on. Like, let us know a little bit. Other thing I'm not a big fan of that I'm running into is this game has 89 achievements, and it is
achievements.
There is an achievement for launching the game, an achievement for each stage you clear.
So it's an achievement farm.
Yeah, that really bothers me.
Yeah. Meanwhile, over in what's that game? Castle Crashers. Castle Crashers. There's 14 achievements, and you can complete the game without getting any of them. So, you have to typically go out of your way to get any of those achievements. So, yeah. This is sometimes you can just do too many achievements. That said, I don't think that this game is just meant to, just to farm achievements. It does seem like a legitimate game.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of maybe not the best achievement design. So
yeah.
Yep. Anyhow, that is Dotori, and with that, it has such a cute name too, Dotori.
Yeah.
I'm putting it on my wish list. I kind of want to check it out. It's convinced me, even with saying nothing, but it has convinced me just based on the visuals and the platforming. All right, so before we close out, we have an important section that we need to talk about. What was your favorite of the week? And so that I make sure I don't forget you, Tom, what is your favorite game this week?
I'll do what I did last
Mhm.
week. I'll pick one from the catch-up, and I'll pick one from the main list. And I would say the one that really caught me on the catch-up list was the Blind Prophet.
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah.
Visually, that thing looked gorgeous. The artwork, the aesthetic, really just kind of like it caught my attention in a way that I was very very excited for, and I threw it onto my wish list. It's one that I would love to pick up at some point,
Mhm.
probably when it hits a sale. Um, but going into the main list, I had a couple that I actually really liked this week. It was one of those, if Iron Danger didn't have the bug issues that we were hearing about,
Mhm.
um, and then and same thing with like Grand Guilds that had some of that. I sort of like those, but my one that I'll go with on the week is Assemble with Care.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
It looks so peaceful. I wish it was a little longer in length, but like just good simple chill out, beautifully aesthetic, great background, good noise, like good foley work, in a weird sense. Yeah, Assemble with Care would have to be my pick for the week.
Yeah. What about you, Rody?
So I already have Blind Prophet in my library because I backed the Kickstarter. So but that would have been my top
Mhm.
pick for the past games. But I think Grimm and Tonic.
Mhm.
I think that one is interesting to me. I think maybe as Tom has that in his library, maybe he can play that, and I play Blind Prophet. We'll come back and we can say how we feel about the games.
Yeah.
So that there's that one. Maybe Wide Ocean Jacket as well, because Wide Ocean Big Jacket. That's such a weird title.
Mhm.
But those two games, those sort of seem quite relaxing and interesting visually. And I do like a good story game as well. I think for the releases this week, it's got to be Assemble with Care, because
Oh, yeah.
so pretty looking, and just it's got that nice thing of just fixing things, and there's this nice story going on. It kind of what it kind of reminds me of, it does kind of remind me a little bit of Donut County.
Oh,
That
yeah.
because that style of visual, but also that satisfaction you get from everything being in its place, or in terms of Donut County, everything you've gotten rid of everything, and everything is just like a nice clean slate sort of thing. So there's something very satisfactory about that. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Well, as for me, I think probably in the catch-up games that I'm most interested in was 36 Apples. Granted, it's a pretty easy pick. I'm probably gonna play it right after this, and let you guys know what I thought about it. It's free, and you know what? Again, I think there's sort of a thing we're all kind of looking for, that peaceful, relaxing experience right now.
Yeah.
So, and I think 36 Apples is what that is for me this week. From the more recent games, I'm a little torn. But I think ultimately I need to say, with the caveat, after the bugs get fixed, but Grand Guilds. I really want to check this game out. The combination of cards and tactics just seems really engaging to me, and hearing that there might be a bit of grinding in order to get the other cards, that is actually a little bit of appealing to me. But yeah, the bugs definitely need to get fixed for this one. But thankfully the studio seems to be communicative. So yeah, Grand Guilds and 36 Apples are my two for this week.
Nice.
Awesome.
So yeah, and of course, chat. Please let us know what your favorite games of the week were. But now we have some selfless plugging that we need to do. Shameless, not selfless. Shameless plugging that we need to do. That'd be the opposite of shameless. Would be selfless. So Tom, what are you gonna be putting out on the internet?
What? I finally get to talk about this? No, you let me earlier too.
Yeah.
Hey, tomorrow, 10 o'clock. I just checked the schedule on YouTube, so it's gonna be 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. I've got a review and a play of the first hour playthrough coming up of the indie game The Pedestrian coming onto the YouTube channel. You can find that YouTube and then search in the Radio Tom over there. Otherwise, I stream most weekdays over on Twitch. We're going to be continuing some Resident Evil action before Resident Evil 3 comes out, because I'm a sucker for Resident Evil right now. And you find me there, twitch.tv/TheRadioTomFM.
Alrighty, and I'm sort of curious, like your creative process. So just derailing once again, but your creative process, like to make the review, like how many hours of work was that ultimately?
The gameplay itself, I recorded 1 hour of the gameplay. I went in blind, never really seeing or playing anything. Then I originally was going to actually start typing out the review, went back and finished the rest of the game. And then I actually sat down. I decided on specific areas that I wanted to critique a game on, a final scoring, typed everything out, recorded the video. I would say and keep in mind, this was a shorter game. It took me 2 hours to complete all achievements, plus the write-up. I'd say at the end of the day, maybe about five hours to finish it.
Oh, damn.
Of like the review, the type up, the editing, and getting everything over to YouTube.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, neat.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and what about you, Rody? What are you doing?
You never know. I might stream. You know, if I can stop sleeping, stop napping. But yes, you can find me at twitch.tv/Roadypie, and don't forget to check us out on the curator page as well on Steam. I'll put a link right here so you can give us a follow. We'd really appreciate that.
And with that, there's me. I have did not stream this week because well, let me see. I had some additional social events, so now all of people in my social circle are now like scheduling times for us to talk video chat, because everyone's feeling really lonely, and even I'm starting to get a little bit of that hit. So I'm like, oh, you know what? I went and contacted some friends I had who now live in Texas. I was just like, hey, do you guys want to just video chat sometime? And ultimately we ended up in Tabletop Simulator playing Trivial Pursuit, which was great. So so yeah, that was really fun. So it's been a cool time to get reconnected with folks, and ultimately I did not end up streaming because of that, but I'm going to try to get back on my stream schedule. Tuesdays, I play single-player games. Wednesdays, if my brother is not still sick, I'll be playing co-op with him. So, yeah. So with that, and of course, we'll have this podcast will be up on YouTube hopefully on Tuesday or Wednesday. So it depends on how much the thing goes. So yeah, but YouTube.
Don't forget to give a like and subscribe on YouTube.
Yes, indeed. And thank you very much for coming by. Farewell. Bye-bye.
Bye.